Right, welcome to another episode of the Skipton Scene with Skipton BID. James, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good, thank you. Good to see you again.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
No, not a podcast.
But we have interviewed you before on your Skipton, so you've
lots of interviews.
You've got the skills for it.
Well, I'm not going to be the judge of that.
We'll see, won't we? But why don't you just start? Just let us know your background and how you ended up now working as general manager at the Skipton Hotel.
Well, that's condensing a lot into 30 seconds, if you like. But I've worked in hospitality all my life. Fell into it really, but I've just developed and grown. So started with brands and then worked my way into kind of fine dining and then into hotels. I've been in hotels for the last kind of 20 years. And then ended up here in Skipton. So kind of via London, Manchester, Glasgow, and then Skipton. Is that
a common route, do you think? London, Manchester, Glasgow, end up in Skipton?
Is that inevitable? I don't think so. I would say that's unique, really. But it's more because of the company I work for. They bought the hotel, and I'd worked in the past running Ruthin Castle in Wales and Holling House in Cheshire. And I'd actually left the company for a short time. That's why I ended up in Glasgow. And my old boss said, "We're buying this, and you'll be perfect for it. We want you to come back."
Jump to the opportunity.
So here I am.
Wow.
Having never really set foot in Skipton. I shouldn't admit this, but having never set foot in Skipton before. And then I was in and out within 90 minutes with both a job, a new home,
wow.
and a whole new town to play with.
You've thrown in at the deep end a little bit then.
Absolutely.
Because I sort of see you as Mr. Skipton a little bit, doing stuff for the radio. We seem to chat to you all the time. You seem to be involved in all sorts.
That's because I'm always available, I think.
Right, you just say yes to too much.
I do.
Hence appearing on the podcast.
No, somebody else has called me Mr. Skipton, and I think that's hilarious, really. And it's certainly not me that's calling myself that. But I like to involve myself in the town. You know, if you're running a business, it's great to concentrate on your business, which I do. But I also like to see how your business engages with the rest of the town, especially something as big as the Skipton Hotel. You know, it's by a huge margin, it's the biggest hotel in the area, which naturally, therefore, puts a lot of people onto the high street, and therefore, the most basic thing we're doing is we're recommending places. So it's nice to know where you're recommending. So, and obviously for my own social life, you then go out and about. But being involved with Skipton BID. So I'd been here about 6 months and I was invited to be on the board of directors, which is great because you do feel like you're giving something back. But again, that made me meet a lot more business people and chat to them and see how we can all work together. And I think that's something that is really quite special here in Skipton, that the business community, obviously it's a small-ish town. It's not, a vast city, so people do know each other more so, but they also want to support each other. And I certainly found that, and I found, within 2 months, I changed the name of a hotel that had a name for God knows how long. So, that could have been quite controversial, but there seemed to be a lot of support and a lot of kind of good feeling towards the place. And as a result, I make the joke all the time that Yorkshire folk are really welcoming, but that's exactly what I felt. I felt very welcomed into Skipton, having never really been here. And
I think that's a theme actually with other people we've spoken to on this show, because we've spoken to some other people that you're not even the newest to Skipton.
No.
That we've spoken to. We spoke to the team from the Kip Vault who just arrived from the High Street, Yorkies as well, and then also businesses that have been here for a while. And that is a bit of a theme that people, whether they've been here for ages or they're new to Skipton, seem to make quite a lot of an effort to really get engrossed and get to know the area and get to know the people.
It's important, at the end of the day, we're lucky that the majority of our customers come from outside of Skipton. But then I'm conscious of the impact that has on the town, so we want to be able to support the town. But equally, there's a reason why we renamed the hotel the Skipton Hotel. We could have called it, well, within reason, anything. But we wanted it to be Skipton's Hotel. And it's a cliche, I know it is, but that's what we wanted. And when it was the Rendezvous, when it was Hanover, when it was Randall's, everybody had some sort of connection with it, be it a Christmas party, a wedding, a function, all those things. People have been to the hotel and had that experience. And we wanted to really continue that on. Hence why we refurbished all of our meeting spaces, for example, so that we are really getting back into the town so that people know that they can come and have a birthday party. Or we had a cadets dinner last Friday,
which
is that's the first time the hotel's ever had something like that. So it's the community feeling like that they can come and enjoy the hotel. And then obviously simple things like launching our car route that we did. You know, you've got to get that message out there, but you want people to feel like they feel welcome. Because it can be intimidating coming into a hotel.
Something's going on the high street today.
Goodness
me.
Busy
in Skipton. No, well, listen, James, we've got a lot to go through then. We've got a lot to talk about everything you do at the Skipton Hotel, the events. There's some other things you're involved in Skipton that I do want to mention later on. And we've got a few little competitive elements, some features along the way. I believe
so,
So I hope it's going to be a fun show. Have you heard any of the previous episodes of the show?
I've only heard clips, so I didn't want to feel like I was cheating.
Well, now you get the full experience. The first thing we're going to do is we like to get to know the guests sort of quick as possible, get a bit of a feel for who you are and what you're like, only in quite a light-hearted way. But we're going to do a little feature called Skip to the Good Bit, right?
Okay.
So I've got 5 questions for you. Quick fire. I don't want you to think about it too much. And we'll get to know a little bit about you, okay? And the first one is, of course, with the hotel background. Breakfast, cooked or continental?
Cooked every time.
Nice, good answer. I'm glad you said that. Question 2, we've asked everyone this and got some interesting answers. Social media or no screens?
Oh, I would have to say in what context, but social media.
You have to, don't you? This is the thing. Everyone's always said the same thing. Why do you hesitate?
I think it's quite timely, really. I don't know if you know, there's been a drama on Channel 4 called Tiptoe, and a lot of it is about the way society is going in terms of homophobia, but a lot of it is driven by social media, and there's a particular scene in it where someone's just scrolling through the really awful stuff that's on social media. So I think there's a lot of arguments for not, and certainly I think the government is talking about banning certain things, you know. I think social media is great for business, and I'm as bad as anybody for scrolling. You know,
we all are. It's
addictive. It's not good for you. It's really not. So that's why I hesitated.
Yeah. So it's kind of that conflict, isn't it, between wanting to take it out sort of your personal life, but then it being necessary for the business.
Exactly that.
It's difficult. Well, we'll have a bit more of a chat about that later. Question 3, quick one. Night in or night out?
Night in.
Really?
I know. Call it an age thing.
Oh, that surprises me, James. I thought you'd be a bit of a night owl. And question 4, what's your favourite Skipton event? I suppose you've not been here that long, have you? But what is...
No, I've experienced all of them, but I've got to say Skipton Pride. It's not my event, but I work on it, so I've got to say that.
Nice. Okay, good answer. And we're going to have a little bit of a chat about Skipton Pride, actually, and chat about what the plans are for this year. And question 5, again, we've asked everyone this one. Other than the Skipton Hotel, do you have a favourite local business in Skipton?
I do, and I say all the time, it's the Castle Inn.
Oh, right, nice.
It is the place I was made to feel most welcome when I first got to Skipton, mainly because of my dog. Everybody knows my dog, my little long-haired blonde chihuahua. So when they see her walking, it doesn't matter who's holding her, they know the dog. But the castle made me really, really welcome, and getting to know Calvin and the team.
It's a hub, isn't it? Right,
it really
is.
It's
really beautiful.
And then, you know, on a sunny day, there is nowhere in Skipton
twice
like
a year.
Well, we have just had a heat wave, and there's another one coming. But yeah, you know, just sitting out on you know, people watching out on their bar terrace. There's nothing like it. I love it.
It's beautiful. And do you find you can go in there and just meet anyone?
Absolutely.
There'll always be a friend in there.
The thing with my job, you know, you tend to be off. You know, you work in the weekends. You tend to be off during the week, and everybody else is working. So I have no issue with, you know, coming into town on my own, having a little mooch around the shops. And that's one of the nice things, that so many shops are dog friendly. So that's why I've got Tiz with me. Tizzy's my dog, by the way, just in case you wonder. But then you go into somewhere like the castle, and everyone makes a big fuss of you, and it's a real hub. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I want to talk then a little bit about one of those big changes you've made at the Skipton Hotel, the change of the name from Rendezvous, it was right before, wasn't it? Yeah. So is there more of a story about that? Where did that decision come about? Was that just wanting to make a bit of a mark, or?
That story is like an onion, really. There's so many layers to it. The quickest and shortest answer was, in the time where the Weavings left and us taking over, it wasn't doing very well, and it had lost its sparkle, it lost its reputation. And so we were coming into something where we could either go, right, okay, let's just repair this, or let's say it's a clean break. That's one element to it. The name Rendezvous also doesn't fit within our other hotels. We're not a brand as such, but we are a collection of mostly stately home type things. So if you've got a collection of hotels, Ruthin Castle, Shrigley Hall, rendezvous doesn't quite fit, doesn't
Right.
roll off the tongue the
Yeah,
way
it's not
the others do. And then it's like I said, we wanted to reinforce the idea that it is Skipton's hotel, so that's where it came from.
And has that come with some other changes then in the last few years? Anyone that's been to Skipton Hotel recently will have seen some of these changes. Talk us through a little bit about the story since you joined and some of those changes.
I would say, in all honesty, this is a 5-year project, realistically, and we can do the big things. Like
I bet I'll come to you in 5 years and it'll be another 5-year project, won't you?
Oh no, because you start.
There'll always be
again.
stuff to do.
Yeah, you start again. So it's a 5-year project to get it to lose some of the past, if you like. So some of the rooms we know are ready for refurbishment. We're not a massive company. We're a small family-owned company. So it takes time, and we tend to do bedrooms 1 or 2 at a time, with 97 to do. That takes time. That's where the 5 years comes from. When we do the big stuff, we try and get it done quickly. So the restaurant, as you know, was done in March. Complete rip out and start again.
It's been transformational, by the way. That new restaurant, if people haven't seen it, it's stunning in there now. The way that space has been designed, it's really bright. It's beautiful, and the new carvery, of course.
Exactly. And the design was my design, working with our builder, who is one of our contractors, and the whole point was opening the whole space up so that the whole thing is about the view, because the view from that restaurant is second to none. It really is beautiful. But there was things in the way, and the dark carpets that distracted from it. So we were trying to the whole point for me was to open it all up, even out the space, and then just make it bright, airy, and have a big feature wall of Skipton landmarks. And I think we've done a good job with that. There's other big stuff coming, none of which I can talk about.
Oh, okay.
It's all under wraps at the moment, but there is other big stuff coming. So these big ticket items will kind of drop in over the next year or two. In the meantime, it is just bedroom after bedroom after bedroom and getting those done. As I say, all the meeting room spaces have been either redecorated or fully refurbished. So it's just rooms and this other big stuff that I can't mention.
I'm going to have to get that out of you at some point. That sounds
Absolutely
interesting.
not.
And so you've got the meeting rooms, because it's not just a hotel, isn't it? You mentioned the meeting rooms for business and stuff, but you also do quite a lot of events as well, weddings, get-togethers.
Yeah. The biggest thing is the ballroom, which has been the heart of the hotel for many years. It's still for locals. It's very much where we have our Christmas parties. So we've just launched our Christmas brochure, where we taken it back to basics this year to just fill the space and have a great time. But we also do a lot of dance holidays. I've literally got 90 people in there at the moment this morning who are on a 4-day dance holiday. And that's,
wow.
Believe you me, I did not know this was a thing until I came to Skipton, but it is huge. And it's what makes
4-day dance party?
4-day dance holiday.
Dance holiday, right.
Yeah.
Are you joining in?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But there's about 400 companies around the country that specialise in these dance holidays. Everything from ballroom dancing, sequence dancing, line dancing. It's crazy. But these holiday companies get to know where these big ballrooms are, and you get on the circuit, and that's what we are really pushing ahead with. So they're there for 4 days, eating, drinking, dancing.
Oh, they must be great fun.
It's a huge fun. The line dancers are the most fun, I will say. They are the ones that absolutely go for it.
Wow.
Which is just bonkers.
That must be amazing. I mean, talk about the social media thing. There must be some good content. They must be getting all sorts. You must have some stories from events. Have you had any? Do you do a lot of weddings at the Skipton Hotel?
It's not a huge business for us these days. The dance holidays take priority, really. We still do them and we still enjoy them. Lindsay, who's the events and weddings events manager, she loves weddings. So she tries to cram as many in as she can. She absolutely loves them. But even in my short time here, the first wedding I did was a Star Wars themed wedding, which I've never ever known before.
Right.
So
what was the groom wearing?
No, they weren't dressed like that. That was the way, but they had. So all the lighting.
I was really worried we were going to have a Darth Vader groom then.
No, wait. We did. So all the lighting was either green or red. The colour of the lightsabers,
Right.
blue or red. And then all of the tables were themed. But then they had as not the groomsmen. I can't think where they were. It's about 2 years ago. But we had stormtroopers. They had 8 stormtroopers come in I was just like, what is going on? It was bonkers, but it was great.
Brilliant.
They had an amazing day. We had so much fun with it.
That is brilliant.
So yeah, a lot of fun.
Do you like that part of your job then, the sort of events organising part of the job?
Yeah. The thing is, when you do this job, I mean, I started in restaurants, and even in restaurants, you become a little bit a part of people's lives. They celebrate their milestones with you. With hotels, it's even more so because it's the bigger stuff. It is the weddings. It might be, sadly, the funerals. So you become a very much a part of people's lives in that respect. And I love that. Lindsay, I'll tell you now, is the best at it because she's been at the hotel for over 25 years. And people recognise her, and she's like, "Oh my God, you did my wedding, you did this, you did the other," which is great. We had in Ada Skipton Pride, we had a cocktail cruise using Skipton boat trips on Saturday night, absolutely bonkers. And we got on there, and this woman said, "Oh, you did my wedding," and I was like, "Good God, can we go anywhere without you meeting someone?" But that's the joy of something like a hotel, where you do so much and you become very much integral to people's lives, and not just the event side though, because Skipton is a tourist destination itself. So people use us as their holiday, but they'll come back 3 or 4 times a year. So I have lots of guests that in the 2 years or 2.5 years I've been there, I've seen some guests 8, 9 times.
Wow, okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But they come and they love seeing you. We are a part of their holiday, from not just me, obviously, but all of my team. Anita, who runs breakfast, they see her every morning. She's been there 16 years. Lindsay, obviously. Jack on the bar, who's been there 9 years. The team become a part of their holiday. And that's a lovely thing to be able to be part of.
And do you think, is Skipton a particularly special place for that? You've worked all over the country, but Skipton, as you say, you have these people coming back multiple times. It's that gateway to the Dales feeling. There's a lot you can access from Skipton. In your experience, is it quite a special place for things?
Yeah. It's very different. I mean, I've worked apart from where I've worked for this company. So Ruthin Castle was where I worked, which is in North Wales. But even that didn't have the amount of people that come back again and again and again as we do here. Skipton, I think it's not unfair to say, it does have an older demographic of tourists that come here. I think we all know that. And as a result, when they find somewhere they really like, they'll come back again and again. And part of the thing I didn't want to lose when we took the hotel over, or what rather I wanted to get back, was when Malcolm and Karen Weaving were running the hotel. Malcolm would be in the breakfast room every morning. He'd be talking to all the guests. So it felt like the family hotel. That's what I wanted to make sure we kept. So I do go down most mornings and catch people. I speak to as many guests as I can, and that's one of the reasons why people come back. But Skipton is a destination, and as I say, it still takes me by surprise. It punches way above its weight in terms of its size, but the amount of people it attracts is just phenomenal. And I think that's a truly, it speaks volumes for the types of business that we've got here, the business mix that we've got here, that the amazing hospitality that we have in the town, the unique, the market obviously is a huge draw. I know a lot of our coach tours, they have what's called a free day where the bus isn't going out, and it's chosen to be a Wednesday so they can come to the market.
Go on the market day.
It's a huge draw, so when you've got a town like this, it really does bring people from all over the country, literally all over the country.
And we've seen, in messages written and reviews about the hotel, that you are particularly good at that front of house stuff. And not to inflate your ego too much, James, but every time I've been down to the hotel, we've done interviews and stuff. I came to the launch of that carvery.
Yeah.
And it seems like you really enjoy that interaction with your guests and with visitors.
You've got to. You can't fake it. You can't fake this job. When I started, and it's over 30 odd years ago when I started, it was all about the buzz of a Saturday night, dealing with customers. Over time, obviously, as you develop, it does become about numbers. You want to succeed, you want to develop, you want to grow the business. But, there are some GMs that develop and go into their office and they stay in their office. I'm not. You can't escape.
You've got too much energy for that.
Well, my office is literally in reception, so I can't escape anyway. But you've got to have that love for it. Just before I was on a tight schedule this morning. We have our morning meeting, and I knew I was coming down here, but there was a lady in reception, and she was travelling home to Warrington on her own. She must be, I don't know. She's an elderly lady. She got no real idea what time a train was. So I just stopped what I was doing, looked at the train times, booked her a taxi to make sure she got there. She'd be going after I left, so I made sure my team knew, right, when that taxi comes, you go and get the lady, get her into the taxi. I gave her a cup of tea. She was going to walk across to McDonald's and have a cup of tea. I was like, for goodness sake, in the bar, on me, come on.
Wow.
And it's those kind of things that, one, people remember you for, but two, it's a pleasure to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't really want to make somebody happy in this kind of job, you're in the wrong job.
And it's one of those things that for you is such an easy thing to do, an easy thing to take a bit of time out of your morning and help, even when you're on a tight schedule. But for other people, it makes a big impact to their day, and you know, little things like that can really improve.
Yeah, I mean, you want people to remember you. You want people to want to come back. That's what you're in business for. Mm. But you know, if you see somebody either that needs a bit of help, or is in distress, or you know, you just want to genuinely because you think they're a great person. Yeah. You know, again, that's what we do the job for.
Yeah.
I certainly, you know, as I say, for years.
One of the key skills, of course, in that job, that people skills, that social skills thing. I want to pick on some of that experience a little bit now, then, because we do this on every episode of the Skipton Scene. We have a section called Nice Advice. Right? Okay. We're basically, and as we've been talking now, I want to ask you a little bit from that experience, and then coming to Skipton, what advice you would give to someone else who might be setting up a local business in Skipton, first moving here, or trying to run their own business full stop. Now, your Skipton Hotel is a bigger business than lots of the guests we've had on this show. But what would be your advice from the experience you've had? What are some of the hardest things you've had to do?
Well, I think whether you're setting up or whether you are here already, engagement is key. You know, there's no two ways about it. It's a tough marketplace. The environment we live in at the moment, the costs that you know, hospitality and retail, and you know, all the business up and down the high street, we're all facing a really, really tough environment. If you just sit there and wait for somebody to come through the door, that ain't going to work. Not in this day and age. And that's not because your business model's bad or whatever, but it's effective. It's the old saying, you know, if you're standing still, you're actually going backwards. You've constantly got to be engaging. And what I've found, you know, be it through Facebook or being part of the BID, and I use the BID not just because I'm on the board of directors, but, you know, my team uses all the training that we do. All those kind of things, you know, engage with people. It's crucial. Talk to your other, you know, business people in the town. I mean, I'm not saying I know everybody. There'll be a lot of people who think, who the hell is this guy? But obviously through hospitality, that's my most obvious connection. But I try and engage with people because, one, it might be that I can help them because we send people to them. That's an obvious thing. Or it might be that they want an event, or, you know, just talking to people. That's the most obvious thing. When you first come to the town, if you are a new business, then it's crucial. You're a non-starter if you don't engage with the people that are around you, because as much as social media is key, in this town, word of mouth is still very, very, very much a key driver for business footfall. And I see it and I hear it. I'm very, very honoured and complimented by the fact that people keep telling me there's a lot of people in town talking about our carvery. That's amazing. That means we're doing our job right. But it also demonstrates how important that word of mouth is. You know, I can put all the Facebook posts out I want, but if people aren't talking about it and saying, do you know what? Yeah, I had a great experience there, then it's for nothing.
It's something we deal with all the time, isn't it? And I suppose in somewhere like Skipton, it's that difference between you can put out a video and get as many views as you want, but if people aren't engaged with it and really chatting about it afterwards. I think that thing you mentioned about engaging with other business owners and guests and having those conversations and getting, you know, being confident to go and speak and meet people. That's not easy for everyone. That can be a challenge for a lot of people. What would you say to someone that is, you know, they might have a brilliant product, they might have a brilliant business head, but if they struggle to go and engage with people and have those conversations and pick up the phone and talk to customers, talk to businesses and other owners?
There are different ways in the town.
Is that something you've learnt, or were you always good at that?
Well, I've always been chatty. You know, that's just me. Call it ego, call it whatever, you know. I'm always happy to have a chat about something and engage. But I struggle. I put me in a room of strangers. I'm like, oh my God, no, you know. But sometimes you just have to push yourself, which is not easy. But there are other ways to do it. You know, Skipton BID is one great example of where you can just look on the website and look, you know, get your events listed. You don't have to speak to anybody. If you've got, you know, and I know it's not always easy because it might not be relevant, but You know, there are business listings on there. There's job listings on there. There's all sorts of stuff. So you can just do that, you know, with a click of a button. There are other things in town there's some business social networking. I've not had the chance to go to them because I just, they're always unfortunately on the wrong dates. But there are other ways you can do that which are a bit more informal. So it's not kind of going into a really formal environment where you might feel a bit off-putting. But those kind of informal environments can make those connections. For me, it has just been a little bit of, you know, going to the pub. Yeah, you know, that's how I met Calvin.
It can be simple as that.
That's how I realised how much I love the castle. And every time if I've got a friend or my parents are visiting, I go there.
You count it as a business meeting?
No. But, you know, becoming a regular is an easy way to make connections. But I found that useful. And then Calvin, a few months ago, said to me, "Oh, do you recommend people?" I said, "I always recommend your place." I went, "Oh, do you want to take some menus?" I went, "Yeah, of course I will." So I've got some menus that, you know, we'll give out to guests when they want recommendations. And that's just a simple chat, you know, really informal at the bar or whatever. But there are very different ways of being able to make these connections that if you are, particularly if you're new or, you know, if you are a small one-man band business, you know, where I don't doubt that it could be really, really quite overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But there are other ways to do it, as I say, even if it's just, first of all, using your computer to engage with something like the BID.
And I think we would both agree that if anyone's struggling with that kind of challenge, that Skipton is a welcoming place, isn't it? Everyone,
without doubt,
as you say, it's a welcoming place to have those conversations and meet people.
I've never felt so welcome as I have here. I really do. It's great.
That's great. Well, we hope you stick around. Thank you. Now, before we head to the final bit of the show, which is the Biz Quiz, so we'll find out how competitive you're feeling. Before we head to that, I would just like to mention Skipton Pride, which is something you're heavily involved in. The event's coming back this year. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect this year.
So this year, we are moving the event to both a Saturday and to Coke Street Car Park. It was great last year. It was important to bring it to the high street and to say, look, we are here. There's been a few issues in the past where the event's shrunk. So it was a case of getting it out there, getting it on the high street, and it was amazing. I mean, I had the best day. I mean, obviously, you know, I was hosting the stage, and it was just bonkers. This year, we've moved it to Coke Street to, I suppose, give it more of a festival feel. So the stage will be in the car park. You'll come into like the compound where all the stuff will be there. So your food and drink stalls, your market stalls, all that kind of stuff will still be there. So it's basically it's a one-stop shop event that, you know, you can treat it like a music festival. We've only announced one act, which is the headline act, but they are quite a biggie, which is Booty Love.
That's exciting. I remember when the news came out, everyone was very excited about that one.
I think, you know, last year we had Smashby, obviously, Skipton lad. The crowds went wild for him. And we had Berry from the 90s, Sunshine Off the Rain, huge hit back in the day. And we finished with an ABBA tribute to create Skipton's biggest sing-along. This year we wanted to go a bit further, so that's why we announced straight away the headline, which is Booty Love. They're very, very big on the Pride scene. They do a lot of prides and festivals. They're great entertainment. And they've got about 5 or 6 massive dance singles that everyone will know. So that's really exciting. And then once we get into July, we'll start announcing a lot of the other acts. There's a lot of local acts this year as well, which is great. So hopefully they'll have a lot of support, and they'll be coming along to support their favourite act.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
It's going to be
really, really fun. We'll keep putting the news out, of course, on your Skipton. And if people want to find out a little bit more, is it a ticketed event or people can just come down?
Free. Everything is free. So we will be asking for donations this year, just so we can help to keep it free. But that's the whole principle of what our event is. It is absolutely free for everybody.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see a bit more of it. If people want to find out a little bit more now, is there a website?
Facebook.
So you can find out a bit more
straight on Facebook, Skipton Pride.
Amazing. Oh, look excited about it. It's going to be really good. I can't wait. And we'll put some details, of course, in the caption of this podcast so people can find out more. Brilliant. I think it's time now to move on to the competitive bit of the podcast, the last section of the show. Are you a competitive person in general, James?
I suppose I should say no, because if it was a really bad result, then it won't sound as bad. But yeah, I'm very.
Well, you could say yes and no, and then we could just edit out whichever one.
I am very competitive.
Right. Okay. Well, as you can see, we've had 3 businesses on so far. We've had Yorkie's, Magpie, and the Kit Vault with quite a spread of results.
Yes.
Have you got a prediction? Where do you think you're going to fall?
I'm going to say 0.
You're going to say 0?
Yeah.
Oh, but
then
just
it can only look better.
Right, okay. It can only be a pleasant surprise. So what we'll do now is I'll move this board into frame, and then I will ask you these questions. Don't get nervous now. This is the important bit. This is for the pride of the Skipton Hotel.
No.
So the first question we have. So I've got 5 questions, and some of them might be about your business, some of them might be about Skipton. But the first question is a mystery shopfront question, and we ask this to every guest. This is to test your Skipton knowledge.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a picture of a Skipton shopfront with the name removed. I'm going to see if you can tell me what shopfront it is.
Okay.
Ready? Here it is. And for people listening, you can see it on the screen if you want to watch.
I can see it on the screen, and I use them a lot. It's Berry's Florist.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Well done.
They provide
Spot on. They're amazing
flowers for all our
berries, aren't
customers.
they? They're so lovely. We went in there with your Skipton. We did a Christmas feature last year, and I walked around Skipton in a Santa costume, and we popped in there one of the first days, and they were so lovely. It was brilliant. So 1 for 1. We're on a good start. See, we've already beaten your 0. We're already beating your 0 prediction. Okay, question 2. This is a Skipton question. What does the word Skipton literally translate to from its Old English origins?
Sheep Town.
There we go. 2 for 2. Well done. And another sheep-related question for you. Let's see if we can make it 3 for 3. Sheep Day is, of course, the annual Heritage Day in Skipton.
Yep.
Big celebrations. You've been before, presumably. You've seen it all. Do you know what year Sheep Day was first ever held here in Skipton?
No, I don't. But I can't.
What's your feeling? Do you think it's?
I'm trying to think if it's a long-standing thing, if it's quite new. I want to say it's quite new.
I'm not going to give anything away, James. Trying to look into my soul to find the answer.
I know. Oh my God. I mean, this is just such a random guess. 2010.
Oh, you're not far off, to be fair. That's better than most people have asked. Most people thought it was a while ago, but it's not. It's 2000. Year 2000 it started. Yeah. It's a millennial celebration. It's Sheep Day. Oh, well, we're still 2 for 3. All right, we're doing well. So there's still a chance for you to fill this gap and get 4 out of 5, okay? Although you're not going to reach the heights of Yorkies. I'm
gutted.
Unfortunately.
A newcomer to the town.
This next bit is going to test how involved you are with your website. Because you have a brilliant website, Skipton Hotel. There's a lot on there. And I've taken a quote from your website. And I've just changed one word. And I want you to let me know what word I've changed and what the correct word is. Okay? Now, this is on the front page of your website. It says, ideally located to explore towns and cities such as Harrogate, York and Ilkley, or enjoy beautiful landscapes such as the Yorkshire Dales and Yorkshire Moors by foot, bike or car. There's one word in there that I've changed.
Oh my goodness. What? The only thing that's glaring out at me that sounds wrong is the word cities.
Mm-hmm. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That's incorrect. I'm sorry. It is cities, but you were so close because the list was Harrogate, York and Ilkley. Your website, as I'm sure you know, actually says Harrogate, York and Leeds.
What?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
That will be changed by today.
Okay, well, that means probably by the time this episode goes out, this is going to look very silly. You could turn this round on us. Anyway, we've still got a chance for you to now get 3 out of 5, and you can join the lovely Helen from Magpie if you can get this final question right. It's another bit of local knowledge, actually.
Okay.
So there's a nearby town, Ilkley, which might be on your website by the time this goes out. They've got some beautiful moors, of course, and a very large rock formation, famously on one of the moors, which features some really large boulders and some smaller boulders as well. Do you know what that rock formation is called?
I'm pretty sure that it's also the name of my ballroom, so it would be Malham Cove.
That's incorrect.
Oh, what?
That's incorrect.
What?
I'm sorry. There is a Malham Cove, and Malham Cove's beautiful, but no, the answer I was looking for was the Cow and Calf.
Oh, come on.
And they do an event there, Zip the Cow, which I'd love to see you do. They do a zip wire from the top of one of these boulders all the way down to the ground.
Absolutely not.
Well, not now. How's that competitive nature in you feeling now?
Well, it's better than the 0 I thought.
It is better than the 0 you thought.
You know.
So we can now take the Skipton Hotel logo and we can place it. It was 2 out of 5, wasn't it?
Oh, that's awful.
2 out of 5. Well, all that means, James, We'll have to get you back on the show.
Oh,
We'll have to get you back on another time. But how do you feel about that?
I'm gutted.
You gutted?
I am. And I thought the Malham question was I had such confidence in that, but there we
You
go.
did. And Malham Cove is beautiful too. They filmed some of Harry Potter, I think, on Malham Cove once.
I believe so.
Is that right? Right at the top. It's beautiful. Anyway, we're just about coming to the end of the show. So thank you very much for coming on. One of the last things we do is we have a tradition on this show, which is what this black book here is for. And we get every guest that comes on from a local business to leave us a question, which we can then ask the next guest. So it creates a bit of a conversation between local businesses. And the last team we had on were the team from Yorkies, new fish and chip shop in Skipton. And the question they've left for you, and they've got two actually. The first one was who does the best fish and chips in Skipton, which we're not going to dive into now, James. You don't have to answer that one. But the question left for you by the team from Yorkies was, what is your favourite part of trading in Skipton?
Oof, that's a tough question. And it's tough simply because there's not one simple answer to it.
No.
I'd say the community, the business community. They are as I say, in a time when we've all got problems and issues, and you know, it's a tough financial time. There's still a lot of good feeling and a lot of goodwill. And there's been, as I say, a lot of goodwill towards the hotel, but there's a lot of goodwill around the town that people genuinely want to see other people succeed, and that's quite unique to Skipton.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a really nice atmosphere, isn't it?
Yes.
I think that's a really
so.
nicely put.
Very
Well, James, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. And before you go, I'll leave you this book, and if we get you to write a question
Absolutely.
for our next guest, of course you don't know who the next guest is going to be.
I don't.
But you can write it down in the book there. Have you got an idea of what question you'd like to ask?
A bit of warning would have been good.
But we don't need these things to be too prepared, do we? You can have a look through the book and see
Well,
some of the
yeah, I was like,
questions.
can I?
Obviously, being still one of the newer residents to Skipton, what would you like to ask another local business?
I really.
We'll give you a time to write it once we've cut. But
I suppose actually it might be a case to ask advice, rather. You know, so what would be something you'd say other businesses should do in Skipton?
Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting, isn't it?
Because we're all here to talk about what we do.
Yeah.
But what would be a specific little bit of nugget or something that's been successful for you?
I think that's a great question, and we have these conversations all the time about business advice in general. But as you say, Skipton's quite a unique.
It really
place,
is.
So finding out something specific that people learn about running business in Skipton. Amazing, great question. Well, we'll let you put that in the book. And James, thank you so much for coming on.
A pleasure.
Really appreciate it. And of course, thank you again to Skipton BID for setting up the Skipton Scene. If you want to get in touch and let us know anything that you want to ask our next guest, you can email radio@yourskipton.com. And that's been the Skipton Scene. James, thanks so much.